have another listening practice for you today. We're going to be listening to a rather serious conversation about the weather. My name is Karen, and on my channel, I help you bridge the gap or close the gap between the English that you learn in the classroom and the English that's actually used in real life. If you're new to my channel and would like to learn some more real life English, then make sure you press the subscribe button below so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Today's conversation is between a man and a woman. It's actually an interview, so it's a more serious conversation. And the language that they use is also more serious. They don't use any informal words or phrases, and the way they talk and the words that they use are much more appropriate in a business setting. So if this is what you want to practice, then today's conversation is a good one to listen to. I'm going to play the conversation 4 times as per usual. The first time at the normal speed, the second and third times at a slightly slower speed, and then one last time at the normal speed again. And while you're listening to the conversation, I'd like you to try and answer 2 questions. The first question, does the man think that the bushfires in Australia will be worse this year compared to last year? And the second question, what does the woman say about the rain? Now, a bushfire is a fire that's burning out of control in the bush. I think in America they call them wildfires, but in Australia we call them bushfires. And in recent years, bushfires have been a really big problem in Australia during the warmer months. After you listen to the conversation, we can then study some of the words and phrases that they use in today's conversation. Okay, let's go.
This year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. It will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. There will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as they were last year.
It's such a fine line, though, for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation.
This year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. It will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. There will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as they were last year.
It's such a fine line, though, for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation.
This year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. It will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. There will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as they were last year.
It's such a fine line, though, for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation.
This year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. It will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. There will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as they were last year.
It's such a fine line, though, for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation.
This year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. It will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. There will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as they were last year. It's such a fine line, though, for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation. Okay, now that you've listened to the conversation, let's talk about some of the words and phrases that they use. Firstly, the man says, this year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. A threat is something that could hurt someone or damage or destroy things. Now, when I say hurt someone, it doesn't have to be hurting their body. It doesn't have to be a physical threat. For example, there could be a threat from your parents to take away your mobile phone. And the threat to take the phone away from you is still pretty bad, right? So they're still hurting you in a way, but it's not physical. They're not hurting your body. It's just something unpleasant, but it's still something that you just don't want to happen. Now, today's conversation is all about the weather. So the man lists all the different weather conditions that could damage parts of Australia this year. And what does he think the threat will be this year? Heavy rain, thunderstorms, and floods. He then continues and says it will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. Now, to take the sting out of something unpleasant means you're making it less unpleasant. And what's the unpleasant thing that he's talking about here? The bushfire season. Now, bushfires are always unpleasant. They're never nice. So if you're taking the sting out of the bushfire season, it means you're making it less unpleasant, so it won't be as bad. And the last thing he says is there will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as last year. Now, widespread means in a lot of places or happening to a lot of people. And a good example of this right now is the coronavirus. It's widespread, it's virtually everywhere around the world right now. And when we use widespread, we're talking about a lot of places or a lot of people. So we usually use this word when we're talking about things like health, the coronavirus, or things to do with the government or the weather, like in today's conversation. So we use widespread when we're talking about things that affect a lot of places or a lot of people or both. And severe means very bad, very serious, causing a lot of damage or pain. Someone could be in a severe car accident. So when you hear that a car accident is severe, then you know straight away that the car accident was very serious. It was very bad, and the people who were in the car or cars that were involved in the accident could be very badly hurt. They could be severely hurt. And in the conversation, he's saying that the bushfires were widespread and severe. And does he think that the bushfires this year will be worse than last year? No, he thinks they won't be as bad this year compared to last year. He says that there will still be bushfires, but because of all the rain that he expects we will have this year, the bushfires won't be as bad this year compared to last year. Last year, they were widespread and severe. They affected a lot of places and a lot of people. They were very serious, they caused a lot of damage, and people and animals were killed. So the bushfires were very serious last year. But he thinks they won't be as bad this year. So fingers crossed that he's actually right about this. She then says, it's such a fine line though for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation. Firstly, let's talk about moving forward or going forward. And this just means in the future, and it's used more in business settings, so in more formal, more serious situations, like in today's conversation. Our marketing strategy in Europe was poorly executed last year. So going forward, we've decided to take a different approach to our entire global strategy. Okay, that was a rather serious example and a rather formal one, but that's work, and work can sometimes be serious. Our marketing plan for Europe, we had one, but we didn't follow it last year. So now we've decided to do something different. We're going to start by looking at our marketing plan across the whole world. So in today's conversation, we're talking about the weather. So we're talking about the weather in the future. And the last thing she says is, we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation. And devastation just means damage, but a large amount of damage. So it could be affecting a large area or a lot of people, or both. Now let's have a look at her whole sentence. It's such a fine line though for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation. If there's a fine line between two things, it means that there's a small difference between them, and one could quite easily become the other. So you can say that there is a fine line between being very smart and being crazy, or being a good, cautious, careful parent and one who just worries too much. So here in today's conversation, she's talking about a fine line between a good amount of rain for our farmers and having too much rain. So what is she saying about the rain? We want rain because it's good for our farmers, for their crops, for whatever produce they grow, fruit, vegetables, and it's also good for the animals. But there's a fine line between having a good amount of rain and having too much rain. And having too much rain is actually a big problem for them. And it's very easy to go from having a good amount of rain to having too much rain. So she says there's a fine line between them. So let's listen to the conversation one last time at the normal speed and see if you can pick up some more of the conversation this time around.
This year, the threat more likely will be heavy rain, thunderstorms and floods. It will certainly take the sting out of the bushfire season. There will still be bushfires, but they're unlikely to be as widespread or severe as they were last year.
It's such a fine line, though, for our farmers, isn't it, moving forward? Because we want the rain, but you get too much rain, we see devastation.
Please give me a thumbs up if you found this video useful so that I know to make more videos like this one for you in future. Thank you for watching today's video. Keep practicing, stay safe out there, and I shall see you next time. Bye.